Hello folks, thanks for tuning in. So this video's featured running trail is the French Broad River Greenway, and that's in Asheville, North Carolina. If you watch my initial impression video for this here Saucony Endorophin Speed 3, you'll know that this was my favorite shoe that I'd ever put on my foot. However, that was the initial impression. A lot can change over 300 miles. So I'm happy to say this is still the favorite shoe I've ever put on my foot. Now, before we get into it, let's just cover those basics really quick. Neutral support shoe, made for road and track running. Has neutral cushioning, 8mm drop, heel 8 millimeters higher than the forefoot. I wear a size 12, weighed in at 8.99 ounces, that's 255 grams, which is the lightest shoe that I've worn. And after 300 miles, it had dropped to 251 grams, so lost 4 grams, that's 8.85 ounces. Found it true to size. I gave this a B for sustainability. Just quick word on sustainability. Saucony says that they've got recycled content in it. It's hard to compare recycled content and how much from one shoe to the other. They'll say they got 75% recycled content in a portion of the uppers. Well, just what does that mean? Not sure, but it's important that at least these companies are acknowledging it. And the good news is Saucony also says this shoe is vegan, so that means it has eaten no meat. There you go. And finally, $170. Saucony states that they place their shoes into one of three categories. You got your race day shoe, you have your speed shoe, and you have your everyday shoe. This, as the name would suggest, this is the Endorophin Speed. But in this version 3, what Saucony attempted to do was make it a bit more of a hybrid from a speed to also an everyday trainer. They did that through two main changes. First, biggest one probably is there's a nylon plate that runs through this shoe, but they widened it out a bit and such that you can even see where it comes through on the sides here. So they widened it out, and they also winged it up just slightly, and it's so it's able to provide an even more stable base. The second is they added more cushioning to the shoe, which did increase the stack height some, but it's going to give it a lot more durability for the long haul. A few other items just to note. This is a nice gusseted tongue, which I like, and it doesn't extend that way up above the laces. I liked all of that, as well as this laser cut. It seems like everybody's kind of doing these thin laser cut tongues these days. They did reduce the padding around the ankle collar back down through the heel. So simply put, this is the most comfortable running shoe I've ever had. It starts with that wing nylon plate and the way this base is engineered. I just feel like my foot's really centered. I have such a nice solid yet cushioned base. For this toe box, I wouldn't say it's a narrow toe box, but for my narrow feet, the way it just clasped me, just kept me in there nice and snug is perfect. And the amount of cushioning around the heel, there was no slippage at all. Again, that same comfort just extended all throughout the shoe for me. They promote that their form-fit design hugs every part of your foot for a personalized fit and feel. And it certainly did that for me. And all of this comes with this. They also changed the mesh to a single layered mesh. I've found most shoes, a lot of them doing this double layer. It's just not going to breathe as well as this one did. This one was just terrific. It checked all the boxes for me. So I put all my shoes into one or two categories. Generally, you have your rockers, which for me, Hoka seems to be that, where as you land, it just kind of rolls you forward and then propels you up and out. Then you have your snappers. As you come forward, it kind of loads up and then springs you up forward. So in addition to this nylon plate, Saucony has this Power Run PB foam. That's their lightweight material designed to give you cushioning as well as the responsiveness, and this design worked perfect for me. Throughout the 300 miles, I took it on all sorts of runs. Obviously, they would have been the speed runs to the long, easy runs. But I would say this shoe, even though they made it a hybrid from the speed to the everyday trainer, they left a lot of that speed component in it. It just likes to run fast. Whether I was doing my speed workout, would really consistently would be hitting my goals that I was trying to, or to the longer runs where even when I was running easier, I would tend to have even a faster pace than what I had been trying to get. So, you know, and again, it's just, you know, the way this shoe is designed, the comfort for me is just terrific. So what's not to love about that? Now, the one thing I did find, I don't know if it's necessarily a negative thing about the shoe. Once I started to get on runs that exceeded like 13 to 15 miles, my foot would get a little bit tired, I think, and at some of that speed and comfort in it, I would lose it a little bit. So, and like I wore this for the Berlin Marathon. I did struggle down the stretch on that one. You know, there's always so many factors on that, but you know, I don't think this shoe necessarily helped in that one. So since Berlin, I stopped using it for any runs that were going to be more than 12 miles. Since I stopped taking on the longer runs, it took me a little bit longer than normal to get to the 300-mile threshold. I have to tell you, if you told me at the beginning, given how light this shoe is, the kind of just the thin rubber on the outer sole here, and given what a heavy heel striker I am, that this would hold up throughout all 300 miles, I would have lost that bet. But boy, I was wrong. It did a super job. If you look at my graphs, I did think there was maybe a very slight drop in the cushioning at about mile 100, but then they held up great right up until I'd say my last couple runs. Right as I got up to the 300-mile mark, I thought there was another little bit of a drop. And as for the responsiveness, or my made-up word reflexivity, wow, it stayed great the entire time. Again, I thought maybe right as I neared 300 miles, it started to drop off slightly, and then if you take a look again, look at this wear on the heel where I hit. It's only just started to, I've worn away that little rubber strip here, so I'm getting into this softer material now. And I haven't worn through it on the other shoe, but it's getting close. So I would expect that I could perhaps get at most maybe another 100 miles out of this one, so maybe 400 miles tops for me, which actually lines up really well with what somebody else had put in the comments during the initial impression video. Dev Runner said that he got 425 miles out of the shoe before they went flat, which, by the way, is a great term. I'm going to borrow that moving forward myself there, Dev Runner, so thanks. So not every shoe can be exactly perfect, and so when it comes to the grip, that's one area where the Saucony is a little deficient. They don't have a lot of the deeper grooves, I think, to really channel that water away. On wet roads, especially when crossing any painted areas on the wet roads, it did not grip it very well at all. So I actually didn't stop wearing it in the rain, which is another reason it took me so long to get to 300 miles. So I could keep going on and on about how much I like this shoe, but I mean, what else is there to say besides this is the favorite one that I've ever run in? So it was a Goldilocks shoe for me. Checked every single box. It's at the top of my list. So I strongly suggest you consider trying this shoe out. Just don't wear it in the rain. So thanks so much for making it through the video. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments about the shoe, please put them in the comment section down below. We had a pretty lively comment section on the initial impression video, so it's always helpful for folks to hear other people's experiences and thoughts about the shoes, so it's not just mine. Also, we're always welcoming people to subscribe. My next shoe review is going to be the Asics Nova Blast. I got 300 miles on that one. I'll be putting that one out shortly. And besides the shoe reviews, you knew we do those state races. That's why we race the nation. We just finished Jackson, Mississippi Continental Tire Mississippi Blues Marathon last weekend. So we'll be putting that one together and posting that one as well. In the meantime, just keep getting out there and keep moving forward. Remember our motto here at Race the Nation: exercise, explore, and most importantly, enjoy. Thanks for watching.